Hello, good evening. It's another episode of Negative Talk. This time, it's we have one of the best photographers I know, and well, he's a little bit of everything. He's jack of all trades for this episode 3000. No, it's just episode 3. We are marching on. We are steadily progressing, and of course, before we start, for those of you who have just discovered Negative Talk, so a little bit of introduction for our show. I'm your host, your presenter, Jed Bakasan from the Philippines, and I am very happy and honored to talk to a lot of folks from around the world, not just from the Philippines. And today we will talk to someone from his roots from India, but I think it's all over the world. He's in from New York, also he's from the UK, from the UAE. What else? This show is it's all about photography. It celebrates photography and all its nuances, and we not only talk to photographers but also visual artists, and we are not we're more interested in their processes and their visual language and their photographs. Well, we also talk about their gears, of course. We want to know that how they make their photographs or their things, but it's more about why they do what they do. So for tonight, I'm gonna call my good friend. Uh, I got to know this guy because he was also one of the participants of my UAE photo exhibit. I think that was last year or 2018. I forgot. I'll just ask him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Poras Dhakhan. Here you go. Let's put you up on the screen. There you go. I think you're on mute.
Classic words. I think you're on mute.
Hey. Let's have a little bit of applause.
God, that photograph will haunt me forever, I think, Jed.
Yeah, I got this. You're very easy to find in Google. You're all over Google.
I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, because you're a lawyer, that's why. You told me before. When was that exhibit? Was it 2018 or 2019? 2018.
I was just a humble volunteer. It was your work that I was showing around, actually.
Come on, there's lots of very good series in that exhibit, and that was actually my first exhibit in the UAE.
Oh wow!
And yeah, and that was one of my series when we're driving out to the mountains during winter time. What was your series back there?
What over here on this side?
No. During that
Oh right,
exhibit.
it was. To be honest with you, I was just taking a couple of classes at the analog. Christopher runs the dark room. Sessions. So I was just sort of taking some classes with the crew, and one of the things that came up was, we're running this exhibition, and we might need some volunteers to help open the doors and do that sort of thing. So I just jumped in, and I thought, I'd help out, see what's going on, and wow, it was incredible. To be honest with you, I didn't even know there was such a huge analog scene in Dubai. So that was one of my first encounters with the other members from the group, and the work was so incredible, wasn't it? There's such a range.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Such a range of photographers as well from different places, and they all brought their own sort of style and story. It was I was super impressed.
Big thanks to the man himself, Christopher Osborne,
yes.
Of course. I've heard nothing but praises to this guy. It's all thanks to him that I joined the group 2015, I think, analog photography in the UAE. and it was just a small group. And then when Christopher and um, who's the German and the Irish guys, there's three of them that
Yeah, I mean,
became
it's grown a
moderators.
lot.
Yeah,
It's
and now you're one of them.
that's true. I'm helping out where I can. I mean, it's sort of it's taken a life of its own, hasn't it? It's not just, but the group is incredible. It's nice that people meet up, people do things, and there's such a big support for analog photography now. I mean, it's incredible that you're doing this as well. And yeah, last few photographers have been analog photographers as well. So, but
Yeah,
that's not the intention, right?
uh, I've been shooting analog since 2010, but this is actually just a way for me to talk to you, other photographers, learn their stuff, And if no one is watching, I don't mind because I learn.
It's good to have a
I
conversation.
learn. Yeah, I learn. I mean, this is for me as much as it is for everyone else. I mean, this is what I love, knowing the processes of other people because I shoot series. I like shooting series. I think you are also. I mean, you shoot singles, but you also
I dabble
find
with
some
series. I'm starting to.
concepts. Yeah. Um, Before we go to that part, I'm just interested because you are uh, a photographer, of course, but also you're a lawyer
That's right.
and and a goddamn lawyer, New York State lawyer. Sorry
The
for the
worst
word.
kind, the absolute worst kind.
Come on, he's not the worst
I,
guy. He's the best kind. I mean, to do it in New York, I,
I,
it's hard enough to make it big in the UAE, but in New York, man, that's top notch.
no, not really. I've just had a very. It's a life of not taking no for an answer. You know,
Yeah.
you rightly pointed out. I'm from India, but I studied in the UK, and when I graduated, it was the financial crash. There
Mm,
weren't any jobs going. There were no opportunities to train. But to qualify as a lawyer, you need to get a job to
mhm.
train, and then you qualify. So I couldn't do that. As sort of, you had to get paid a certain amount. I couldn't get a visa and a job that paid that amount at the time. So I was basically cut out of the field. So I just
Mm.
hopped on a plane, went to New York, sat the bar exam. So I never actually worked there, but I'm a New York qualified lawyer. You know, it's one of those funny
Hey,
quirks of life.
you got the title. I mean, that's more than enough.
But I'm hanging the hat now.
Really?
Lots of hat. Yes.
So,
I,
I read in Tashkil, I did a little research on you, um,
thanks, Jed.
as I do with everyone who comes to the show. Um, I read your bio in Tashkil, and you come from 11 generations of
That's right.
golds. Is it goldsmith or silversmith
Yes,
or just
goldsmiths.
goldsmith
So, yeah, I was
in
one of the
India?
first to leave. Yes, so from India, my father and my sort of uncles and things, they left. They were the
Hmm.
first lot to leave India, and they moved to Bahrain. We moved to Jordan, moved to the United Arab Emirates, and they continued to be goldsmiths. But when it came to our generation, we sort of thought we'd try something else. So my cousins do other things. I have a cousin who's a mechanical engineer, I have a cousin who's an accountant, myself a lawyer. Um, and, but we're slowly, in small ways, I'm sort of coming back to it, but doing it from a very different perspective.
Yeah.
Um, I,
But
yeah, but I'll talk about that later.
let me just ask: was it your decision to become a lawyer, or was it your parents saying we have to diversify, we have to have
No,
lawyers, we have to have
they
engineers?
wanted me back in the business. They would have liked it if I'd continued. But I thought, when you see, I don't know if you've seen sort of when you grow up in a family full of entrepreneurs, you tend
Hmm.
to see things are up and down and up and down. You don't know what's going to happen. You have highs,
Yeah.
you have lows. If you don't sort of plan properly, and that was our life basically. Sometimes things were
Hmm.
great, other times things weren't great. Um,
Hmm.
and living in UAE, you kind of quickly come to realize that the law is key to living, really, or anywhere. I think it gives you a sense of power or control over your life.
Yeah,
So I chased that for a long time. That's
and
what
now
took me to.
But I think you're back to your roots.
Yes, finding my way back, sort of crawling in the dark, trying to figure out how to do things. But it's funny how much of it's still there, It lurks when you see your parents doing it. Yeah.
I think it's in
the
your
tools
blood.
are easier to handle.
Yeah, it's
Do you think so? I don't know. It's what was your background? How did you get into photography? How did you get into the arts?
Well, my father is an accountant, so he doesn't have any ARTS in his blood. Zero.
But it's probably
He's a good critic. Yeah, he's a good critic. My mom is she's the one who's into arts. She's the one who brought the camera to the family. Although my father brought home SLR. What was that? Zenith from Saudi.
Oh wow!
Yeah, back to the Philippines.
I've got one right there in the background.
Really? That's where I started. I still have it. Yeah, back in the Philippines.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but mostly it's exposure to the environment. When I started working, so I saw some friends who are doing photography, digital at that. So I started doing it. I rediscovered my passion for it, and then I went on to film and medium format, large format, all that. So now I'm wanting to know more about other people. I think it's the progression of things.
I guess you're right. It's you. Then you're curious. What more can I do? How are people doing it differently?
Right.
That's where you learn, right?
Yep. You see some photographs that people are doing, and then you think, how did he or she do that? So you wanna ask, you wanna learn. And I think that's everyone in everyone's mind. So I'm just doing them a favor. If they don't like it, then I'm doing myself a favor. Then.
I mean, it's great. So before I forget, thanks for having me on the show. I mean, I think it's amazing what you're doing, because it's not often, there are not a lot of platforms for local photographers to speak over here, or if they are, they're sort of hard to get into, and it's always good to have conversation. So thank you. I really appreciate you putting in all this time and effort.
You're welcome. I'm all about learning. I don't, there's no discrimination. Whether you're a master of what you're doing or you're starting, it's all good. And I saw some of your photos that you've been posting on Instagram and on the group, especially the ones with the weird colors.
Oh yeah.
What film did you use that? What did you use for it? Is it some
range? The easiest ones where you could get, I think the ones that work easiest without messing around, if you want to really sort of experiment with twisted colors, it's the Lomo range of films. So the ones you're probably thinking about, and that was the cover photograph, is Lomo Purple. And I've seen some very lovely results from other photographers in our group as well who've used Lomo Purple recently. And it inverts green and purple.
I saw a series before. It was shot in Africa. I'm sure you've heard or you browsed through that photo series in Africa using a medium format film. I don't know if it's Lomo or some other novel film or not. What do you call that?
I've got a couple of roses in one of my drawers. Oh yeah. So it's this bad boy.
Let me 1 second. Oop. There
you go.
Lomochrome purple. Where do you buy this one?
I bought it from a lovely friend of mine who has a whole stock of it, but I think he's now run out. But you can buy it online. It's pretty easy. I think the guys at GPP have a whole bunch of Lomo film as well. But I don't know if they
Oh,
have
really?
purple and these strange ones. Yeah, they often carry a bunch of different ranges. But if you come to the Misfits Market on the 19th, I'm sure you'll be able to find some of this specialist film there too.
This
And this is the
yeah,
other one. It's called Metropolis.
Metropolis.
Mhm. So this is, part of the experimentations. Ta-da.
Lomo. Ah, Lomo. Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be this film. You could mess around. A lot of the other pictures I posted were shot using expired film. So
mhm.
that's sort of, some people love it, some people hate it because the results vary. I've shot with
Speaking of
expired film where I've had nothing.
yeah, speaking of loving or hating something,
Mhm.
um, uh, I know some people. Uh, I don't know here, but back in the Philippines where I'm from, who really are not into expired film,
Yes,
lomography and all that stuff. What's
yes.
your take on that?
I started there. I started in the. There's a famous sort of Ansel Adams. I think they call themselves the F64 Club or something
Yeah,
like that. Shoot
yeah,
open wide. Photography has one purpose: straight photography. It's to
mm,
capture. It's to make a photograph that takes in all the details as crisp and clear with wide um, depth of field, and there's no compromise.
yeah,
But that's where I started, and I thought, look, if I wanted to do something else, I'd do something else. But then slowly, like you said, you begin to experiment, And one of
mm,
the things I love best about analog photography is how human it is, how much the results vary, how unpredictable it can be,
mm,
And going down that rabbit hole led me to um, expired film, and I wouldn't put expired film in the same category as lomography. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for lomography, we probably wouldn't be shooting analog as much these days. So we owe
well,
them a huge thanks
that's
to
true. That's
bringing
true.
back uh, analog photography. So I don't. I first when I first started, I thought, oh, what are these toy cameras? But I love my Holga. I love
I love
the
my
fisheye
whole.
camera, the
Yeah.
Lamonkino. I'm hooked. They innovate. They do creative things. They make things interesting and fun. And I think that. I think we've got a visitor there who lurked in the background and shot back out. Bless her. Hello.
That's my daughter. Say
Hi.
hi.
Nice to meet you.
Or well, I'm at home, so she's gonna get something behind me. So go, go, go.
That's nice. Nice to meet you. So yeah,
It's what
I'm a
you
big
get.
fan.
Yep. Well, I I appreciate the efforts of the Lomo guys. I also started with the group, not with Lomography, but with a big group in the Philippines, in Manila. I think they're 10,000 strong, and yeah, started doing photo walks, and then like you grow, you become more curious, you educate yourself, you learn a lot of things, so you move on to more complicated things, you become a bigger dinosaur, you go
Yeah,
to that rabbit
exactly.
hole. You go back
I,
in
ju-
time.
I mean, I
So
love both, right? It's not just analog. As I'm sure it's the same with you too. You shoot analog and digital, don't you?
yeah.
Space for both. Um, but I think I do. So do you use expired film? Do you use Lomo films, Lomo cameras, the sort of experimental? Um, what's your
uh,
views on as a commercial photographer?
Well, I'm not a commercial photographer for one, so I shoot expired film if only it's there in my things that I haven't shot for a few years, so it became expired. So those cases, yeah, but I don't purposely shoot expired film because as much as possible, I'd like to not
Get
mess with the
consistent
colors.
results.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know sometimes you have to shoot expired film if it's in your bag, and then you forgot about it, and then it's such a waste. You cannot throw it away, so you have to use it. So
Oh, I
it's fine.
mean, if it's a couple of years expired, it's not going to do anything as long as it's
Yeah,
stored
yeah,
well. But I'm talking about sort of, I have rolls of film that are older than me in the fridge waiting to be shot.
yeah. No, I don't have that.
So if
I
I've
want
got a whole
to.
bunch, so I'm hoping to organize but we'll come to it. But a expired film photo walk. I'm sure Christopher will shoot me for this, but
I'm sure there's a lot of guys in the group that would like to join that.
yeah,
I mean, the unpredictability and the excitement of what's gonna come out if you shoot the 1990 film. I mean, if is there even gonna be an image that will come out?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, really.
They might just the colors are warped sometimes, or they're muted. Black and white, I've had a lot more success with. The lower the ISO, the more likely you are to succeed as well.
Yeah.
So there are things you could do, when you're buying expired film. But experiment, find out.
Yeah, you're a moderator now, so you can you have all the powers to uh, create an event. I'll be
That's
there
the
for sure.
idea. Fantastic. I'm glad.
Let's go to your photos, your slides, because I know you prepared something for me and for the
Indeed.
audience. Uh,
Indeed.
let's start with the
There you go.
there.
Can we just click
Okay.
through these? Right. So we've already done this. I haven't put in a photograph, but I don't know how we can move next. Shall I control it from mine? There we go. Can you see
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay,
Cave.
great. Yeah, this is me. That's where I'm sitting right now. This photograph. That's
Oh, yeah.
set up at
That's
Cal.
You're in our circle right now. Great. You have your own
Yeah.
space.
It's a part of like a community area. It's called Cave.
Mm.
Next to me, I have Fahad, Antiques Dubai, who sells, I'm sure a bunch of us have bought cameras from him in the past.
Fahad Bati.
So that's him.
Yeah, I met him in Ghost Village in Sharjah. You know that place?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
I got stuck in the sand,
Oh,
so
God.
he just watched me. Just kidding. He just watched and see if I can get out of it. And he said if it'll take me more than 10 minutes, and then he'll come and help me. But he's a great guy.
And did you
Great.
get it?
Yeah. I just
He's got
deflated the tires.
good. He's got tons of gear. You should. He's got tons and tons of cameras, analog cameras. He's got typewriters, and come check it out. But it's a nice space. Like I host workshops here. Christopher and I did Color by Night, where we a few members were there too. Where we turned this whole place into a dark room, and we developed a roll of film, and then we printed one photograph. Some people even had expired rolls of film in the thing, so that was interesting.
I think I knew April and Michelle were there.
Yes, April and Michelle were there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, that was great. It's a good little space. So come down and say hi sometime. Here most evenings.
So what you in there aside from photography? Do you also do the silversmithing there, or just pure?
Yeah, so I'm making jewelry. I teach jewelry making here, and I also make jewelry. But I'm a fair trade goldsmith, so the everything I use is either recycled or it's fair trade. So there's a need for conversation around where your gold comes from, where your silver comes from. How is it extracted? It's a huge sort of industry which harms a lot of people, and so I'm quite passionate about sort of which is what I was telling you earlier, that I'm coming back to it, but I'm coming back to it on my own terms. We've all seen it, right? We all know about the sweatshops where jewelry is made in India, and we've seen the images and things like that. We've been to the gold souk, so I'm trying to propose a different way of working.
That's great,
and that's work in progress.
That's a big.
So
big
that happens here too. I think it's not a path I walk alone. The people before me who've sort of cut a very good way forward, and it's just something I'm trying to help along in this country.
And it's going to take a lawyer.
My favorite. I guess it'll take a lot of people making good choices, right?
And a lawyer.
That's the idea. And perhaps a lawyer.
So, what do you have in the future? Do you have any activities that you're gonna do in this space?
Yeah. So I've got, from a jewelry making perspective, I've got. I'm mixing wherever I can. I try and mix jewelry making and photography. So at the moment, I've got a thing I'm doing, and it's about to sort of go live soon. It's called When We First Met. And you kind of come along, and in exchange for telling me the story of how you met, it could be your partner, it could be a friend, it could be anyone at all. You tell me the story, we'll talk about it, we'll post it, and we create a piece of jewelry where you could set sort of something that symbolizes that first meeting, whether it's a coordinate from where you first met, it could be sort of a symbol, it could be a photograph. But I've created these little pieces of jewelry where you could set it in and finish it yourself on the spot.
Nice.
So it's kind of like it's incorporating photography and jewelry in that way to create personal stories.
Great.
So
great idea.
That's going on right now. Thank you.
I think you started this with your partner, right?
Yes. So you can see Hannah in all the photographs. She's my constant muse and victim.
And victim.
And victim. God, you should see most of the photographs that I post where she's sort of, she's posing and things like that. But they're not sort of photographs that are set up at all. She'll just be sitting around and I'm just sort of buzzing around with my camera. So she'll just think, oh God, you again. That's not true. So she's so patient.
Either she's annoyed by it or she's already gotten used to it.
She's got the patience of a saint. So
good for you.
Definitely.
So what else do you have here?
I've got a pinhole photography course coming up soon. That might be interesting, I think, to some. Have you tried pinhole photography?
No, I haven't. I was very much interested before with the Pringles and photo paper, and then you have to expose it for more than a week, something like that.
No, it doesn't have to be that much. It depends on the sensitivity of the paper, I suppose, and how big the hole is, the aperture as well, how much sunlight you have. Yeah, but no, not weeks.
Workshop. This is going to be a workshop.
Yes, it is. So idea is we make the pinhole camera on the spot. I'll have the parts 3D printed and ready to be assembled. I've got reusable rolls of film, and we just put in 10 photographs worth of film in there, and then we'll shoot it around the spot, around El Cercal, and we'll come back and we'll develop it. And you'll have your images ready to go, It should be fun.
With pinhole. You can have an exhibit with the pinhole photographs.
That's the next part. Yes, it will be. I'm also, I've just created a zine called Obscure Dubai.
Do you have a mock-up or something that
I do.
Can show? So,
not today, but it will be coming out by the end of this week. It'll be coming out at the end of this week.
Well, when you put it up on the social media, I'll make sure to link it to I'll post it on the page and link it.
Perfect.
So, what else we have on your slides?
Well, we've got. So this was just a series of works that we could go through, and then I'll talk about sort of Obscure Dubai and all the rest of it towards the tail end, if that works.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I think this is the series you're talking about, and this is sort of, as I started in the same way most people would really, where I had a camera and I was curious about the process of analog photography, and I was making just single images. If I see something nice, then it was about shooting the sublime, as they say, I suppose, and trying to capture something beautiful. And then the picture would come out, I'd be super pleased. Okay, it was a single image. But as it progressed, and thanks to influence people like Christopher, other people, like your series it completely blew my mind. I think it was
the fish.
Yes, it was Ithaca. Did you call it, or was it? What was the name of the series?
It's Ichthys.
Ichthys.
Yeah,
it was so beautiful, and there's so many layers of depth. Yeah, very impressed. And that kind of inspired me to do more. Sort of try and create work that is sort of cohesive in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Whether Instagram is really the right platform for it or not, that's a question, discussion for another day, really. But that's where I am, I suppose, effectively. And this is that series. It was around. It was shot in. I was on my way to a staycation, and I found this old cabin. And these are some of the pictures from it. So they're just 3 pictures from that series. It starts with this. I think you may have seen this.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be there. So it wasn't we just stopped over, pulled over, and Hannah was just standing there, looking very mysterious as it goes. And this was the second in the series. This is the little cabin that I'm talking about. I don't know about you, but I love film burn. I'm always waiting to get it sort of, and when it comes out right, that feeling is immensely satisfying. And my love for it comes from, I didn't realize this until the other day. It comes from, I don't know if you're a Floyd fan. Do you like Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
Have Absolutely. You seen the album cover for Wish You Were Here, and where those 2 guys shaking hands?
There's just burning, the other guy's burning. Yep. I've
forever chasing that.
Really? I think we're having some minor problems with the connection. Let me get Poras once again. 1 second.
There we go. Hi.
Hey, Poras. Yeah. I lost you there for a little bit.
Sorry about that. Where were we when I got cut off?
Just after the Pink Floyd thing.
Right. Yeah. So film burn. I'm forever chasing film burn. That I think that was where. Let me run that slide up again. All the way there. Yeah. So I'm forever chasing that Pink Floyd "Wish You Were Here" style, that aesthetic of film burn crawling into the image. But yeah, I was saying that the idea behind this set is to put all 9 images into a zine, so that it makes a cohesive whole story. It's a great way to sort of print and publish your work, I suppose, yourself. And it completely changes how you make work after that, I think. I don't have to tell you that because you make great series. But for me, it's been a real sort of game changer to see. I hardly ever see my work in print, other than the black and white stuff that I do in the darkroom, or the color stuff the color prints I made with Christopher. But I don't know if you're the same. Do you? How often do you print your images?
Only when I have the chance. Only when I get excited, and there's a what happened before is I was really looking forward to printing my images. But I found out that printing in Dubai is too expensive.
Mm.
So, and that's digital printing.
Yeah.
I haven't found any traditional C41 that I mean the pricing is still the same. I want big prints, A2, A1.
Mhm.
I can print A4 or R.
Offset
How?
or whatever.
Yeah, not.
Digital.
How do you call that? 4R. But it's too small. I mean, why use a medium format if you're just gonna print it on a small piece of paper? I mean, if you're
Mm.
using medium format, to print big, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's too limiting. So I found a printing shop in Satwa.
Yes.
They're not printing on archival paper, but it's good enough for my taste. So I've
Mhm.
been printing big, but since I now live in the other side of Dubai, so it's a little bit
Bit
far from me. But
Is this
yeah, printing.
the Lambda printing company? Is that what you're talking about? So it's sort
Um,
of analog printing, but with laser.
no, it's actually just digital print. It's
Okay.
Epson nine something.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it's digital print, and they print it on a cheap paper. It's good enough for me. I mean, good enough to hang it on the wall.
Yeah.
It's
You'll have
for
to
my
share the
own
details.
consumption.
Of course, you're.
um, they're they are a frames shop, but they print. So you just have to make sure that the color is right for you. I think it's desert frames. I had a nice contact before. His name is Khalid, from Iran, but
Mhm.
I don't think he works there anymore because I used to sit beside him, and then he would print strips, samples,
Okay. Yeah.
digital prints, and then if I say that this is good enough, then we go print big, like uh 100 cm by 100 cm, like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
are
yeah.
big prints.
It costs less than 100 dirhams, so
What? Okay.
very cheap. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a secret, but now I've shared it to the world.
It's too late. That's your purpose to share, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's very cheap. I don't know if they are still going with the same rate, but if they do, then print away.
Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you for that.
Yeah, desert frames,
Desert
near
frames.
Iranian hospital.
Okay, I think I've seen it.
Yeah, there's a lot of frame shop over there.
And I think there are a couple of you know there's a guy who prints with the Lambda printer. I don't know his details, but I'll ask Christopher. I'll post about it.
I think he told me something about a shop in Al Quds, behind Al Circle. I don't know if that's still open because of this COVID thing. A lot of shops closed.
Yeah, it's been tough, hasn't it?
Yeah, especially with this, niche shops. Where, not a lot of people are going there every day.
Yeah,
So
we should go out and support them.
hopefully they're still open.
I'll
I
check.
mean, with your photos, you should print this out. I'm sure you like printing your photos, but print it big, big, man.
I'm
I
going
mean,
to. This is going to be a zine, so this is going to be using a risograph.
well, still you can hang it on the wall. Big prints,
Yeah, and riso prints are amazing. You just have to be a bit more patient. And I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is incredible. I've been learning about sort of risographs at Tashkil, and
Mhm.
you could literally everything soy based or organic material based, and you could
Yeah.
it's minimal damage to the environment. It's great stuff. Really cool option. Um, it has a certain aesthetic to it. It's not going to look like a offset print, sort of a digital print or anything like that. But
Hmm.
once you get comfortable with what the images come out like, it's a great option. So I would recommend everyone look up sort of risographs and what you could do
Tashkil,
with
man.
them. Yeah.
Tashkil has been doing a lot of great things. I mean, for
Yes.
the community.
Yeah.
Um, I've been there, I think, 5 times. Sometimes I just go there just to look at photographs if they have exhibits, and
Yes,
then I just appreciate the machineries that they have there.
it's incredible, and the dark room's incredible.
Amazing. The dark room is amazing. I had a tour with some of the moderators of the
Mhm.
group, and the dark room is amazing. I
Yeah,
haven't
you can
tried.
just buy a bundle to go there and print.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah.
chemistry, there's equipment. It's brilliant.
Mm.
And at the moment, it's one person in the room at a time, so you'll have the space to yourself. It's amazing.
Oh, because of COVID,
Yeah,
it works out for those who want to be alone in the dark room.
I
So
go, I put on some music, print. It's great.
that's right. Well, is this your COVID project, or do you have something else?
No, the COVID project, I didn't even bring the pictures with me here, but I made some work because I used to live on a boat and I've just moved back to land.
Mm-hmm.
So during the lockdown, I was on my boat, and
That
that was
was
an interesting experience.
your quarantine facility,
Yes, it was. Yeah. So I
your
was
boat.
developing film, shooting analog. I was doing all kinds of crazy things on that boat, making jewelry. So I made some work one day. Like I went completely mad. We all had that confinement
Yeah,
anxiety,
yeah.
right? Where you just go like, I gotta get out of here. Uh, and I just took my camera and shot sort of a bunch of pictures from the same spot. So it's sort of a 360 sort of photographs, and I hope to recreate it in a
Yeah.
three-dimensional space. So watch
Hmm.
this space.
We all have that moment when there's a lockdown that you
Yeah.
can't do anything. So
Yeah.
your creative juice wants to flow, but you're
Yes.
stuck to a very small space. So you
Yeah.
wanna do something. Get creative.
I, it was just suddenly the world. Somebody turned off the tap to access to things. Right.
Mm,
I couldn't get developing chemistry dropped off at my doorstep the same
mhm.
day, for example. And I couldn't get film, and I couldn't, you know, go out and do things. That was frustrating. Um, but it's taught me that you don't really need a lot to be creative. Really, you
Yeah,
have so many things.
yeah, yeah. I wish I had a COVID project, but I don't because I was busy, trying to feed my family. So
Yeah,
I learned
I
how
can imagine that wasn't
to
easy.
yeah, I learned how to sew. Um, I made
Okay,
face masks. So
hey, you
I
might be the perfect person, Jed.
for
I'm
what?
starting an old men's embroidery club. Do you want to join in?
uh, I don't know. If I'd like to be called old, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm up for
Do
it.
no, no, not old men, all men's.
What's that?
Like all
All
men. So just men. So it's just
all
it's a
men, all men.
like all men's. It's a men's embroidery club basically.
Yeah,
We're called the
let's try
Backstitch
it.
Boys.
Let's try it. I mean, I've gotten comfy with the needles and the threads and
Great. Yeah.
all that
Okay. I'll
fabric.
send you the details. I'll send you the details and come along to the first meetup.
Maybe there's other guys who
I
are
hope so.
also. I mean, when you go to Satwa, when you go
Mm.
to these places where there's lots of tailors, you'd be
They're all
surprised.
men.
All of them are men. Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
they're all men. It's the whole idea behind the Backstitch Boys is to challenge gender stereotypes.
Hmm.
So yes, and it's also nice and it's about sort of mental health, and embroidery brings a lot of these qualities of slowing down, stopping, doing something creative, doing
Hmm.
something with your hands, and making things. It's so that's really nice. That's a part of it. Another part of it is just to I guess all those notions of something being a male or a feminine thing they change over time, don't they? And in
Yeah,
fact, they conflict with each other. As you rightly said, all the tailors here are men.
yeah, yep, yep. Sign me
So
up.
yeah, that'll be cool. Excellent.
Signing up.
I'm so glad to hear it.
So what else do we have? It's
Right. We've
getting
got
very, very interesting.
experimentation in purple. I think this is the one you were referring to earlier.
Yeah.
And I was in Germany and I took this Lomo purple with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the pictures were stunning. It was unbelievable what it does to greens. Turns them purple, turns purple into green, and warps
Mm-hmm.
colors. It made this film feel super sort of two-dimensional and flat, didn't it? It's almost like that's a backdrop, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm in love with Lomo Purple. And Prashel just said on Instagram, where I was talking to her about it, and she mentioned that they now have a new formula and they've changed things around. So I'm looking forward to trying some more. And this is another sort of double exposure. I'm sort of a big fan of messing around with multiple exposures. I'm sure you've tried it too.
Yeah. Tried it,
And
of course.
story you can tell through it. It's this story
It's
of
all part of
confinement
learning.
here.
Yeah.
And this was
still in
just
Germany.
this is still in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and it just had this sort of painter-like quality to the odd colors that it produced. I
It
really
does.
liked it, but it's not straight photography. I suppose it's experimentation. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd encourage everybody to go out there and try this. Rochelle's produced some amazing work with this roll of Lomo Purple. So check out her profile and take inspiration, I'd say.
This is one of the films that you have to be deliberate when with what you shoot, right? Because
Yeah,
if you want to get the details out of the photo, then you have to look for something really green and
kind of. I mean, it. I think it messes with it has this layers of emulsion that will mess with the image no matter what you do. But vegetation particularly works really well,
Mhm,
and it's rated 100 to 400, but the sort of color warps are more prevalent when you shoot it at 100 ISO, and well,
mhm.
develop at 100 ISO than at 400 plus. So that's something to bear in mind. But yeah, there are interesting places if you want to experiment with it. Albarari, for example, it's
Yeah.
completely full of vegetation. Or go to a Friday market, or where else can you think of that's super lush and green? I know people have made work in the
I know a place.
mountains.
Yeah, I know one place here in
Hmm.
Dubai. It's in Dubai Internet City, beside the metro station.
Okay,
It's called the Desert Springs Village. I'm sure
okay.
you've heard about it. If you haven't heard about it, try
No,
to Google it, and you'd be really surprised. It's a
Desert Springs Village.
it's a small village that it's stuck in time. But it's like you're back in the 70s when you enter this quaint
Oh,
little
I'm
village.
looking forward to check it. Sounds
Yep.
like you're proposing a photo walk there, Jed.
Well, um, it's a little hard because it's a gated community.
We'll have to
So
find members who live there then.
we have
Any
to
members from this? Please reach out.
Desert Springs Village. Search for it,
I'm
and
sure
then
there'll be someone.
you'll be amazed.
That sounds really cool. I heard you speaking about this with Gaith last time, and I think Gaith sort of groaned. He's like, "Oh, please God, not Satwa again." And I completely agree. I think we need to do something else.
Yeah. Search for it. It's a little secret that we have, but again, it's out in the world. But
Desert Springs Village.
yep,
You're
yep,
full of
yep.
secrets today, Jed.
After the talk, try to search. There's a bunch of articles that were written
Mhm.
for this small village in the middle of the city.
Wow.
You have little cottages with lawns and white fences, picket fences. It's like you're in suburbia, in American suburbia. I promise you,
Wow.
really.
Okay.
It's
Sounds
true.
very Stepford Wives, doesn't it? Okay, I'll check it out.
That's right. I mean,
Okay.
you can use the Lomo purple there,
Yeah,
definitely.
let's love.
Oh,
Maybe we should do a purple walk.
maybe we should.
I like it. I will suggest it. Put it in the group. See who wants to come. Once we find somebody who lives there.
So what else? What else do you have?
So this is the Daguerre. You know,
Okay.
the sort of going into a bit of a history lesson here, but the godfather of photography in some ways, um,
Is
Louis Daguerre, and he invented sort of the Daguerre process. If you
Mhm.
and he made this jewelry that sort of these photographs that were printed on hard metals, and then you have to sort of manipulate it so you can see the photograph, and they still
Mhm.
exist to this date. A lot of the work from that era,
Yeah.
um, and I was inspired by some of that, and I thought I'd make some jewelry that works in the modern day around
Mhm.
that concept. So I took a little spy camera, a Rollei 16S, and made that photograph and darkroom printed it.
Mhm.
There we go. There's the example of it. And then I set the negative at the back. So that is
Nice.
sort of, you press play and you'll be able to see it. So I made the pendant and then there's a
Mhm.
negative at the back. And then I
Mhm.
silvered the back just so you could see the negative a bit more clearly.
This is a pendant size, right?
Yes,
Like
it is. Yeah. In fact,
it's
I'm
small.
wearing it right now.
Let's show that. 1 second.
I don't know if you can see this.
That's small. How do you imprint the photograph?
Just in a dark room, I've got sort of I've got a holder for an 8 mil holder that goes into sort of a 35 mil slot, and then you sort of use the enlarger all the way as close as you can to the
Mhm.
paper, and you expose it. It's almost like a contact print, but and then you
Oh,
get that
it's
dark print
paper.
here, and there's negative there. Yeah,
So that's paper, and then the negative, and then you made the holder.
yeah. That's a darkroom printed photograph.
Excellent, amazing.
Thank you. So that was sort of a mix, trying to find a way to mix photography and jewelry making
Yeah, I think
into
you're
the same.
successful in that aspect.
It's fun, you know. It's not. I wouldn't say it's the most beautiful piece of jewelry from the perspective of pure aesthetics, but the combination I quite like, and I'm
Yeah.
continuing to sort of revisit this, redesign it, figure out other ways of doing it.
Hmm.
Um, so it's work in progress from that. And this was at Design Week in 2019, thanks to
Hmm.
Tishkeel, and it made me think. You know, oh wow, this was so much fun. I want to do more, and that's kind of led to doing other stuff, I suppose. Me
So
sitting here,
it's all about experimentation, doing
yeah,
what others haven't done yet. You know, trying
or
to
taking
be.
inspiration from others. Others have done this before, but it doesn't mean I wasn't dissuaded from the fact that others had made similar things because this is something I could have. It was I made that photograph by standing on that spot, you know,
Right,
and
right,
I printed it the way I printed it, or you know that composition's mine.
right.
So that makes it everything everyone goes out and makes it uniquely theirs, you know.
Hmm.
So nobody else can do it but them, and I find that really beautiful.
And that's something that you know you do with your hands. I mean, it's
Yeah.
manual thing.
Yes.
All the work is in that little pendant. I mean, all the
Yeah.
hours of polishing. That's something that you don't buy off a store somewhere. I mean, it has to be
No.
done manually.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So all the effort is in there. That's amazing.
I mean, I love it, but yeah. So that's what started it all. So that's from historical experimentation.
Hmm. So inspired by the gear and the
Louis Daguerre.
with your family background as well.
Yes.
the culmination of all the things, photography and silversmithing.
It sort of came together, and at this moment of, oh god, wouldn't
Right.
it be cool to do this? But the thing is, if I showed you the prototype, I don't have it, but the prototype looked completely different. And that's the amazing thing. The journey was so much fun, stressful but fun, because things went wrong. Things
Hmm.
it's if you try to do things only the way you've seen it, and if you don't go with the process, then you're never going to end up anywhere, I suppose, anywhere good. But this thing
Yeah.
continued to evolve, and it was so lovely to have people supporting you, and there is a really good community out here, people that will support you with this kind of thing.
Right. And I saw you, back in 2018 when we were at that exhibit. I saw you. You were doing a pendant. I think it's a, was it a turtle or something?
Yeah,
Eagle. It's a falcon, I think.
I think it was one of
And
these little guys, but
yeah,
you can't see
uh,
it. But yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
He's
think it
making
was
jewelry.
a falcon or an eagle, and you were,
Yes,
polishing it. You were, I think, how do you call it? What you're doing? You're
I was polishing it. Yeah, it
scraping.
was.
Yeah, you were scraping a little bit of the excess, and
Mhm.
it's hard work. I mean, you have to sit down and do it for 1 hour, 2 hours,
Yeah,
and you do it by hand. I mean,
yeah.
if you know the process of doing these things, then the more you're gonna appreciate, the beauty that you're holding in your hand, not
I
just
mean, each of
the
these pendants
photo.
is about 40 hours, I suppose. So,
Right, right.
put it that way.
Yep, made by
Come
hand.
down. You could make things. You could. It's not as hard as you think, and it's not. Yes, it's time consuming, but it's immensely satisfying. So, if you want to make some jewelry, I've got some like precious metal clay. There's wax you can work with. There's so much cool stuff you could do. So, come down. We'll make some jewelry together.
Everything's in Al Circle:
Yeah,
photography,
yeah,
silversmithing.
yes. All kinds of madness. Make puppets. My God,
And to
they were
think,
roller skating here day before yesterday.
to think there was a warehouse before. I mean, I think it
Yeah,
still is now, but
it
it's
still is.
become
Yeah,
a
a bit more.
art center.
All kinds of
Excellent.
quirky things.
So
And
let's move on. Uh,
I think upcoming projects we've touched the vast majority of this we've covered. There's Obscure Divide, quarterly zine, printed on the risographic printer. So it's eco-friendly, soya-based ink. You could even eat the paper. It's this sort of sugar paper. It's called. Results vary, so I really like that. It's sort of a very analog-based project. And the idea is that this zine will come out quarterly. I'll put out a call on the group,
mhm.
um, and it would be lovely. It'll be around a theme. It'd be lovely to see other people's work in there too.
For the
So
benefit of everyone, when you say risograph,
yes.
what's the difference between that and the usual print from
So the risograph
newspaper
is,
or
is sort of
magazine?
it prints using soya-based ink, so it's really kind to the environment. And the way it prints is that it creates this sheet made out of, I think it's rice paper, where it scans the image, and then it using making small perforations on this master print. It creates this master, and then it
Mhm.
bleeds ink onto whatever paper you put in. I use sugar paper because it's very biodegradable, and just prints it
So
out. And the idea behind it was to make hundreds of prints.
so are you gonna print color photos or
Mm-hmm.
black and white? I think it's
Yes.
just for black and white, right?
No, no, no. It's the colors are so vibrant. The colors you
Oh,
could achieve with the risograph, you could not achieve with the traditional digital printer. The level of neons. Oh, it's stunning, but it's very unique.
um,
So I urge you to look it up. Trust me, the results are fantastic.
I'm
Um,
trying to think if there's any photography magazine that's being developed or being printed in Dubai? I don't think there's any.
There are quite a few. I don't know if they're still continuing.
I mean,
But the zine
regular.
is. Oh, right, yeah. Obviously, the Silver Grain Classics, but that's based in
That's
Germany.
from Germany, yeah. But from
And
here,
there was a magazine, but I don't know if it's still in print. Plus, the zine I'm planning is so it's 9 pages, and there's one fold-out back page. It's
mhm.
not. It's very community based. It's the artwork will be from people in the group, curated by us, and it'll sort of be a very much a community thing. Obscure Dubai.
Yeah, I think it's important that things like this are initiated, because
Yeah,
sometimes people want to do it, but
but there's no
maybe
platform.
they're afraid. Maybe they're afraid of the cost. Maybe they're afraid that no one's gonna appreciate it.
Yeah,
But if someone like initiate something like this, and I'm sure others are gonna go ahead and do
I hope
something
so.
of their own. It
Yeah,
starts
that's the
it
idea.
starts a movement.
It's just so easy to create zines. Is my message. You don't even need to use Arizo. I use Arizo because I quite like the output, but go out there, print, get work out there, and it's a great feeling. It's if you're chasing perfection, you'll never end up doing. Sometimes that's
Mhm.
something I've learned along the way.
Right, right.
You just got to start and then perfect it as you go, or improve, or change, evolve. But start.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard I've heard that same thing, because I've been cooking this negative talk for a few months before I went ahead with the first episode. You were stuck in, what do you call this, paralysis,
Paralysis for sure. Yes, absolutely. I've been there. It's got to be
Yeah,
right. It's got to be absolutely right. Or
right,
what will
right.
people say? But actually,
That something goes wrong in the
nothing.
first one.
Yeah, things go wrong. So
Everything
what?
goes
Like,
wrong.
you
So
learn.
yeah, yeah, you get better. And looking forward to this one.
I
Why?
hope people contribute too, and I hope we can make it a regular thing.
And how did you come up with the name?
It's just I found that the concept of Obscure Dubai was hoping to do something bigger with it. It's just that there's so many interesting things going on in Dubai that we don't know about.
Hmm.
And it was, I went to something. I went to a Sufi spinning meditation class, and I thought, oh, this is rather obscure. What are we actually doing here? And I can't believe this is going on in Dubai. And I thought, oh, we need to talk about it. So I thought, okay, well, let's create a platform where people could talk about it. But then
Yeah.
my interests became more photography focused.
Mm.
And I find it quite frustrating that there aren't enough platforms where you can get your work out there. You can't really get people's attention other than through Instagram, and Instagram, as we know, has its limitations.
Mm.
So it's the means of getting people's work on print and in a physical form where people can see it, people can share it with others, and it becomes sort of a point of pride once you've printed something out, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something that you hold in your hand. I mean, it's much
Yeah,
better than looking at the
oh, it's,
screen.
it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and not all people are carrying laptops where the screen is bigger. If they're just you know have
And
their
it's so
cell phone.
physical, it's so tactile with a
Right.
with a zine or any other print form. With zine in particular, you have to manipulate the thing, you have to move it around, you have to twist it and turn it, unfold it. So that kind of, you spend more than just a fraction of a second looking at something that
Yeah,
photographers have spent hours creating, right?
exactly, exactly. So
Um,
when are we gonna see this in print?
Next week is the first edition. So I had a workshop at Tashkil
Ooh,
where
nice.
myself and 4 photographers, we shot around a theme and created some lovely black and white images, and they're going to come out in the first edition of Obscure Dubai next week. So
So
bit
so
of a
how
frightening thought.
how much are this gonna be for each
They
print?
they're just being distributed freely at the moment. This whole thing was sponsored by Tashkil, so we've got a whole set of the magazines to give out. Or zines rather
Mhm.
than magazines. And future editions, I'm just funding the print, and they're not really being sold at the moment. So let's see. That's work in progress.
Nice. Looking forward very much.
I'll
I
reserve a
love,
copy for you, Jed,
yeah, I love having these things where we see something new and
and
for
come
the
to life.
community. Yeah, excellent.
Um,
Obscure Dubai, the next big
obscure
thing.
Dubai. It doesn't have to be, It's just a thing now. It's real, which is lovely.
It's time we move on from photo walks and
It's true.
more photo walks and photo walks.
Time to conquer prints.
Try something different. The photos are not meant for screen viewing only.
No,
It's meant.
and my hope is that people will create their own zines. They'll just make their work, and that's the thing I showed you at the beginning of that project. Hopefully, people will just do that and think, oh, okay, well, I've linked these 9 images into some sort of loosely connected story and printed it, and I've now got sort of something physical I've made. So I hope Obscure Dubai is just one thing I've created. Hopefully, people have their own ideas, create their own things,
Yeah.
and
I'm all
start from
up
there.
for. I'm all up for people, sharing what they have in mind. Excellent.
Perfect.
Yep.
And I think the last thing we've talked about, which is the pinhole photography. And I think that's it. Can you? Perfect. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think I got cut off there. Yeah. That's pretty much it in terms of my bag of tricks.
Nice. It's sorry about that. It's I think you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve and you're gonna be busy, very very busy.
Hopefully, we can all have quite a creative start to the next year.
Well, we're looking forward to 2021. They're saying that the COVID is
She
only
is no more.
up till 31st of December, and by the time the new year comes in, everything's gonna be back to normal. I'm sure
Perfect.
that's wishful thinking, but we'd like it to be real. I mean, I myself, I'm looking forward to ending this 2020. Everyone's looking forward to 2020. The
Expo.
just the sound of it, 2020. It's gonna be the year that
We won't soon
everyone.
forget.
But what's amazing? We've been talking about this, my wife and I. Um, these things like this pandemic. I mean, it comes once in a century, right? So uh, it's an experience. It's an experience
Yeah.
that we get to tell to our grandchildren that we lived
When's the
through
last
the
time we
worst.
had a universal experience like this, right? I mean,
Exactly, it affected
that's one
everyone.
aspect of it.
Yeah, and we
I mean,
we
other than
have.
sad, people died, people got sick, which is awful, and I wish it didn't happen.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but there's also this sort of universal thing we all shared, which is quite interesting as well.
yeah. Because I'm thankful that everyone's healthy. Everyone I know is healthy, and the thing that we always talk about is what have you learned during COVID.
Oh
So
God,
for
the
me,
pressure to life lessons.
not just the lessons, but the skill. What skill did you learn? Because I know someone who is a finance manager, but during COVID, well, we're still in COVID times, but he learned how to bake um, bread and cake and a lot of things. I mean, I myself, I learned how to sew. So never in a million years would I think that I would do that. But these are the things that that's positive during these times.
Absolutely.
We learn to be positive, and this negative talk. I mean, if it's I had a lot of time in my hands, so I was able to come up with a thing like this, and connect with the people, with friends like you and everyone else. So yes, it's hard, it's tough, but still we have a lot of things to be thankful for.
For sure. I agree with
Yeah.
you.
And those plans that you have, I've been taking down notes because I'm gonna hold you onto it.
Damn it. It's out there now.
uh, so let's do those things because for me this is a creative outlet. I haven't gotten any single dirham for my efforts in photography yet, even a
I thought you were a
print.
commercial photographer, Jed. To be honest
No,
with
no,
you,
no.
your work is brilliant. You should go out there and sell your work.
I that's one thing. It's one thing to think about it, but another thing to do it because you get to think of the marketing aspect. I mean, it's not just if you're gonna sell something, you sell your name, not just a print. I mean, I
You
don't know.
can spend time planning
There's
forever, but I think your series is brilliant. For example, that's just one piece of work. I'd love to see
mm,
that hanging on a wall somewhere. So let's hope
well, me
2021 is a
too,
year
me
for it.
too. Let's hope next year if things get better. I'm thankful we
Maybe
are.
you'll contribute to the second edition of Obscure Dubai.
Yeah, we're thankful actually that people like you come to you're active in the community because you get fresh ideas. You have fresh ideas. You inject new things into the group, and with the things that you are planning right now, it gets much better. I mean, we are finally getting someplace else.
Yeah.
Maybe push people to um, try to get something financially wise from their
Mhm.
efforts.
Yes,
So yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I'm all for it. I've been shooting for more than a decade, so I want to see something come back to me. So let's
Absolutely,
see.
Sid. I hope it does.
If it doesn't work out, then I'm enjoying photography, as
That's
much as
true.
everyone else. So yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your
So
time,
thank you,
for
Jed,
us. I
for
mean,
creating this for everything.
hats off to
Hats
you
off
and
to you.
your efforts.
Jinx. Right
Yeah,
back into.
yeah. We'll crash your cave place soon.
Perfect. On the 19th, there's a Market of Misfits. So that's what I'm plugging today.
Yeah, yeah. We'll do that. Let's do that. Let's be there
Awesome.
on the 19th. I can grab a few friends. And what time will it be?
It's pretty much all day. There's live music. You can bring dogs. There's good food. All kinds of people doing all kinds of things. There's a bunch of analog photography related things. You can come make a piece of jewelry. Um, I don't even know. I don't think anybody knows how many weird and wonderful things you can buy. Vegetables, rejected vegetables, for example. Did you know that was a thing?
Vegetables in Al Circle.
Oddly shaped vegetables that usually get chucked away, but come give them a second life.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, Erwin's got a
Bef-
question.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Before we
interesting.
end,
Huh.
okay, shoot, Irvin. He has a question. So December 19th, all
Mhm.
day at
All day at Elsik.
Al Circle.
Mhm.
While we're still waiting for Irvin to type his question.
Not a
So yeah,
problem.
so
You can take his time.
how many are you in that room right now?
Oh, it's huge, this space. My laptop's plugged in, but I can
Which
show you. Oh, soup recipe. Yes. Erwin. I've
What
messed
is
around
that?
with lots of. So it's sort of developmental soup, right? Um, Basically, you could develop film in all kinds of things. I've developed film in coffee, which works.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
believe it, right? Which is
Phenol.
great. Yeah, you could throw in bleach and all kinds of other forms of soup in there and develop in there, and it comes out with weird and wonderful results. Sometimes it
Mhm.
works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it's not as effective as you think. Fruit juices I haven't tried yet. That sounds awesome.
So-
I guess it could work. There's no reason why it couldn't. I've tried tea and I've tried coffee. Both work.
And you can do that there in cave.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we could all come down. We could do a develop experimental film development session.
Fruit
Why
juices.
not?
That's quite
Fruit
interesting.
juices, Erwin. That sounds. I think you're gonna have to take the lead on that one. To be honest with you,
Fruit juices. I can't
what
imagine.
fruit juices have you tried? I'm super keen. You've got my
Like
interest.
like apple juice, pineapple juice. I mean, you've got to have the right chemicals, right, for the film to develop. So
It's yeah. I mean, it's the right mix of chemicals, but other than that, it's pretty forgiving. You're not going to get like results that are on par with commercial development, but
mhm,
it's experimental.
that's the
Cross
exciting.
processing, for example,
Hmm. I mean,
developing E6 and C41, vice versa.
yeah, yeah. As far as experiments go, I think the only thing that I did is cross processing, and I didn't tell the lab technician that I'm giving a E6 a reversal film. So they processed them on C41, so I
C41,
get uh,
crazy
colorful.
results.
Yeah, yeah. But they didn't like it because it's gonna ruin the chemistry. So
Yes, it does.
yeah,
I bet they
yeah.
were pissed.
I got reprimanded for it. But yeah,
Yeah, caffeinol is very common. You could also develop with beer. That's a possibility.
beer.
Yeah. So
That's excellent. I think you're gonna have a range of things behind
participants.
you. Like say, this
Yes.
is beer. You can. This is how.
This is
What's
fruit
this the
juice.
result?
Got coffee here.
And this is the result. They can do that. Let's do that. I mean, I think you're open to a lot of things,
Yeah,
experimental wise. So
100%.
we can do that. Erwin is the guy when it comes to experimenting with things.
We'll
I
rope him
mean,
into it.
I'm, I'm,
He's already committed. He's going to
yeah,
help us
yeah,
develop the fruit juices.
yeah. We have to have him on the show for sure. I mean, the three
I'm
of
looking
us.
forward to
I
it.
mean, there's
Yeah.
room for four more. I mean, we can have six guys in
Oh
the
wow.
show. So yeah, yeah. So let's have that next time.
Hmm. April Purcell. I'd love to hear about their sort of. This is calling them out on their journey and their Polaroids and their aesthetics. And
Yep. And I think I can pretty much tell you now that this is not going to be the first and last. I mean, you're a you're a leader in the film community,
I don't.
so we'll have
I
more
do.
episodes with other things that we can discuss.
Perfect.
Caffeinol, fruit
Yeah.
juices,
Yep.
beer,
Yeah.
beer we can drink, or beer that we can.
We could do both, but we get progressively worse at developing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Anyway,
Perfect.
so let's have that next time. Thank you very much, Boris.
Thank you, Jed. Thanks, Erwin, too.
Great conversation. We'll have more soon.
Perfect. Good night.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone.